All right, so you guys had a lot of help to do it. That's great. So, tell us a little bit about. Did you learn anything from it?
Well, definitely we learned a lot from building that boat, especially project management, how to manage a project, but also how to create a circuit, make sure that circuit works. How long do we need to charge the batteries? What is the rating for solar panels? Things like that.
All right. Is there anything you would like to tell our audience about solar panels and solar energy, as opposed to electricity?
Well, solar power really offers us the opportunity of moving away from fossil fuels and becoming a lot more cleaner than what we have now. Because I mean, coal spews out a lot of particulates and smog and causes all those nasty health problems. While solar energy and renewable energy offers a cleaner solution to generating electricity.
What led you to join the solar boat? What was your inspiration?
I really had a strong interest in engineering, and I really wanted to build something and understand how it works, what it does, and that really caught my attention, and that's why I joined the solar boat.
All right. Were you successful in building the boat?
We were very successful in building the boat. It was at the point of competition, we didn't find we found some faults, and we didn't know they were there, so we were knocked out of the competition, but we built a working boat.
Oh, that's great. I mean, there's always problems, right?
Yeah.
But is there any like life lessons that you learn? Any epiphanies that you encountered along the way?
Definitely, there have been many realizations that I have come across with building the solar boat. One of them being having proper organization is very big in keeping an operation like that running and keep it running correctly, because if you don't have it, well, things aren't just going to work as you want them.
How do you think a program like this benefits students here at ECHS, or would benefit students at other schools?
Well, you get hands-on learning from programs like this. You really begin to understand what these concepts of mathematics and physics actually come into play when you're actually building a boat and you're actually finding out what forces work on the boat to keep it floating, to keep it moving, so all the circuits are working. All of these give you a place where to apply those skills you learned in the classroom into a project.
All right. So all right, that's great. So thanks a lot for being here, Brian. That was great.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time here on The Green Show. We will be right back in a sec with another guest speaker right after this.
A lot of our water comes through the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta. But recently, due to pumping restrictions and the state's outdated water system, we're getting less and less, reducing our water reserves by 50%. We have to conserve until we can solve this problem. Go to BeWaterWise.com to find out how you can conserve and to learn more about California's water problem.
Welcome back. We're here at the ECHS parking lot. Kyle Vincent here today.
Hello.
Hi, Kyle.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm doing great. Great to have you here on the show.
It's nice to be on.
All right. So, Kyle, tell us a little bit about your role in the solar boat project.
Certainly. I was head of the mechanical committee in Solar Boat.
What exactly did you do?
Well, running the boat comes down to two parts. The electrical committee and the mechanical committee. That's not to say that we were the only important parts, but we were the parts that actually ran the physical boat. Now, the electrical part handled the actual run of the current, but the mechanical part, we handled the motor, we handled the drive shaft, we handled the propeller, everything that made the boat physically move forward and turn.
All right, that's cool. So, can you explain to us a little bit about how you guys managed to get the boat to turn or to run in general? Some of the mechanics. So, how did you guys manage to do that?
Well, you mean how did we manage to make the boat run, or how did we manage to get the program running?
To make the boat run.
Okay, to make the boat run, basically we start with the solar panels. The solar panels will take in energy from the sun, turn it directly into electricity, and that part belongs more to the electrical committee. But I know enough to say it would run through the wire, go straight to the batteries where we stored it, and then from the batteries it would go to the motor. The motor would run it, that would turn the drive shaft, and when the drive shaft turns, it also turns the propeller. Now that would propel it forward, and if you wanted to steer, there is a steering wheel in the front, which is attached to wires. Turning the steering wheel one way, the wires would move the wires would pull one way. Turning it the other way, the wires would pull the other way. By doing that, the rudder moves, and that's what actually changed the way the boat would turn in the water.
Wow, that's very interesting. So, what was your motivation to join the solar boat team?
Well, I myself am interested in mechanical engineering. It's something I've always wanted to go into. And I saw this as the perfect opportunity to both kind of get my feet wet in engineering and to kind of give myself something to put on my resume and both to have as an experience that would not only show me as an engineer, but show how coming from an environmental school can help me as an engineer. And more than that, actually help me take the field of engineering and make it greener.
Wow, so that's great. It helped you out in different ways. You learned how to make a boat. It helps you with your career, right?
Right.
It's a great program. So, what are some of the ways the program communicates environmentally friendliness to the community?
Well, the program actually had two messages. One was about water, but I know that we're talking about alternative energy. So I'll talk a little bit more about the solar energy portion. The race actually took place on a lake that normally only has people and boats, and the boats normally are gas boats. So the program was designed in the first place to kind of develop a way to still have boating that worked just as well, but not have all the gas and the oil and everything going into the water that people would then drink. So it actually, basically, it's to show that you can have a boat with the equal power as a gas or a oil boat, but is run on entirely clean energy and has nothing goes into the water because of it.
Oh, I see. So electricity and energy efficiency and water pollution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great. So, so did you learn anything while you were on the project yourself? Was anything new to you? Any new experiences? Anything of your life?
A lot of it was actually new to me. I had never built a boat before. I'd hardly been around boats before. And I had never worked that much with mechanical systems. I knew what a motor was, I knew what a propeller was, I knew what all these things were, but I didn't really understand how they worked and how they could be different from how one could be different from another until I really worked with them. I didn't know that there were different gear ratios that you'd add by using different sized gears in different places. You could actually change the way a boat runs. I didn't know how the pieces hooked up, and just some of the parts really kind of surprised me that we need them until I really learned about them, and then it became much more obvious.
All right. So, so you learned a lot, right?
Right.
Do you think your classmates and the people at ECHS benefited equally from this project?
Definitely. They benefited in two ways. First of all, I think a lot of people did honestly learn from it. Not everybody did, but I think that there were a great number of people who just by hearing about it from us, by hearing us talk about it, and by sitting in on our meetings, really learned how solar energy works, how the boat works, and more than that, it gave the school something to be excited about. There were a lot of times when we would hear about teachers and students and everybody who would just come out purely to see the boat and to see us run it and to see this amazing thing we're doing. We would always get comments that no one could believe we actually built a boat by ourselves and would be racing it. It was something that people found truly amazing.
I imagine it must have been pretty exciting. When were you able to see the boat run? Did all of you make it to that final stage?
That everyone made it to it except I personally had a problem. I, because of a personal problem, couldn't be there. But I did get to see at least video of it, and I will eventually get to see it run because we're not done with this boat. We're keeping it for a reason. And next year I'm going to be on again, so I will see it then definitely.
All right, so you guys are continuing next year.
We are if we can get the go for the program again. We're definitely psyched to do it again. Everybody is looking forward to it, but it's all just a matter of whether it gets passed.
All right, so is this a yearly competition they have?
Yes, it's yearly. Fortunately, we didn't get to compete this year because, well, we had a bit of a mechanical error mixed with human error in the qualifying, so we didn't make it. But our boat was actually considered to be one of the best when it did run. So we are very excited to take it in next year and win the race next year with everything we've learned.
All right, that's great. So you guys made a boat. You guys learned about environmental issues. That's an all-around great program, I'd say. So I think you can show us a little bit about the boat.
Certainly. It's right back here. Now then, we have a few parts hooked up. We don't have everything, but we have some of the things. Right here, this is to drain the water if the water ever gets too high, or if we have any leak, this drains it. This right here, I believe, is the motor. I didn't put it in personally, but if I remember correctly, that is where it goes. So this right here is where we have all the electrical things. It all hooks up there and goes to the solar panels and to the motor. You can see some of the wiring. And if you look at this big black wire here, that's the steering system. If you pull these levers here, it will move the wires. They're not anchored, so it doesn't move fully, but you can see the movement a little bit. This is where we had the skipper sitting. And we don't, like I said, we don't have all the pieces in, but though that's what's in here. The propeller actually the drive shaft went through there, that big black tarred mess you can see. And the propeller does come out on the bottom, you can see that if you look under the boat.
So this thing actually went in the water?
Yes, it did.
Wow. And it actually, it drove? It went?
Yeah, it was, not only did it run, but we were told that it would have gotten second place if we'd actually qualified. So it ran pretty well. Where it's not done in the water. We're gonna take it back in even outside of the program if we can. We're gonna have to see about that though. Other than that, you can see the signatures in the boat. That's how we raised money for it. We got tons of people to just sign the boat to show their support. Other than that, that's pretty much all the parts that are in. And this is the boat. This is how we made it work.
Oh, that's really great. All right, so that was our solar boat, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you, Kyle, for sharing with us today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you all for watching. You learned a little bit about the solar boat, a little bit about alternative energy and how you can use solar panels to help you use it. Thanks a lot for watching. See you later.